Department is always a great backup when they need an extra hand. Additional officers could easily be 20 to 30 minutes away.
In basically a fight for my life, and I had to wait almost 5 minutes for my backup to get there. So I ended up fighting with a guy by myself who's over 100 pounds more than me, several inches taller than me, and even with my training and experience, was able to almost throw me around like a rag doll.
And when somebody is actually in that type of a circumstance, that's a recipe for disaster.
Tonight at the City Council meeting, Chief Greg Leveling outlined his 10-year master plan to grow the force. The DOJ FBI national average says there should be 2.4 officers for every 1,000 residents. Based on Lincoln's population of 3,750,
we should actually have a staffing just at 9. And we presently have 5.
His biggest goals are to add a new officer every 6 months, at least until 2021, and eventually build them a police station of their own, instead of operating out of City Hall. He wants to have enough staff to be able to have an officer on duty 24 hours a day, which has never been possible before.
Get to a point where my sergeant and I are not actually working shifts opposite of our staff.
But it won't be cheap.
It's a challenge and a blessing. We're growing like nobody's business. We have a moderately high median income and relatively low poverty rate. We qualify for nothing.
Training and paying a new officer will require about $75,000, plus another $62,000 each year following, not to mention the vehicles and the at least 6 to 7 figure cost of the station he wishes to build. And most of this will come out of the city's general fund. The city actually has a budget surplus for 2019 to get them started, and a couple local corporations have offered to pitch in too. Officer Tucson reminded me Lincoln was declared the safest city in North Dakota in 2019. He says this is the way to keep them on top. And Chad and Lauren, no decision was made tonight, but now the ball is rolling.
Could be a lot of extra expenses. Renee Cooper reporting. Thanks, Renee. Over the past 3 years, there have been multiple reports of missing cattle in the Brien and Solon areas. It's been a mystery for years.
Until recently. New tonight, Stephen Weinberger of Brien has now been charged in connection to the crimes. The investigation began at a livestock barn in Sidney, Montana. A brand inspector noticed the brand of one head that did not match, and court documents indicate that the stolen cattle were sold independently to other ranchers who then eventually sold their cattle at livestock barns. Investigators were able to trace approximately 22 head of stolen cattle back to Stephen Weinberger of Morton County. Weinberger has been charged with 7 felony counts of theft of property. There was a warrant out for his arrest for several days before he was finally apprehended. As many as 7 ranchers had reports of missing cattle. Weinberger has a preliminary hearing set for July 1st.
A new petition filed could set up an interesting battle between voters and our state lawmakers. It's in direct response to a resolution that came out of this year's legislative session. And at the center of the debate, your constitutional right to make changes to the state constitution. Dustin Goverlow says he's protecting our constitutional rights.
Right now is the time to really to push back.
He plans to fight a new resolution from state lawmakers this year that would make it harder for voters to pass changes to the state constitution.
The ability to initiate constitutional measures and all measures has been in the Constitution for about 100 years.
And it still will be, but it could look a little different. Right now, if someone gathers enough signatures for a proposed constitutional change, it would be put on the ballot. But under the new resolution, if voters passed that change, lawmakers would then get a vote.
It will have public hearings. The legislature will not have the opportunity to make any changes to it.
If the legislature votes no, it goes back to the voters in a future election. This is a copy of the new petition right here, and if it gets enough signatures, it'll be put on the ballot for next year. And that'd make for an interesting election cycle, because at the same time you're voting on this, you'd also get to cast a vote on this. The resolution lawmakers just passed on the same topic. So 2 competing ideas on the same ballot. The change gained lawmaker support in part because of outside money influencing statewide elections. But Goverlow said this new resolution won't fix that.
When you extend the process of getting a measure passed from 2 to 3 years to 3 to 5 years, you're just going to need that much more money.
Senator Devers says the extra time, though, will only help people make important decisions.
The voters should want to cast an informed vote, and I think that's what that whole process does.
A process that will ultimately be left in the voters' hands. Even though voters have a chance to vote down the new changes, Governor's measure could prevent similar attempts to change the process in the future.
New tonight, a useful tool for people looking for a job. Job Service North Dakota has created a new tool for employers, job seekers, and anyone looking to move around in the state. It's a website that allows you to click around to different counties and find out what it costs to live anywhere in the state. It shows you the average income and a basic summary of your expenses and what they would look like in each county. They haven't kept track of all this until now.
The best use of it is to compare two counties together or to see what the difference is maybe between the east and the west. So if you were planning to move and you see the cost of living is 20% different, that you'd want to make sure that you were compensating for that.
The website has been up and running for over a month, and we have a link to it on our KX News website, kxnet.com.
Wildfires in northern Canada are sending smoke across the state. Coupled with local agricultural burning, the Department of Environmental Quality is issuing a warning to the elderly, young people, and especially people with asthma, COPD, or allergies to consider limiting the time they spend outside until those smoky conditions pass. Conditions are particularly bad in the eastern part of the state. The North Dakota Division of Air Quality is closely monitoring its air sampling network across the state.
A recent study shows that more than 50% of people would not change unhealthy habits, even if it meant adding 10 years to their life. According to a survey of more than 2,000 people, 58% of smokers said they wouldn't quit in exchange for a longer life. 57% of drinkers say they wouldn't give up drinking. And 56% of adults surveyed said they'd rather continue to eat what they like, even if it's fatty. We asked people what they would be willing to change in order to tack on an extra decade, and a lot of them said diet and more exercise, but there are factors standing in the way.
The cost. For one, prices of good food, the availability here in North Dakota of good food.
Finding the time to do it for us. If you're a mom with young kids, it's just really hard to find that time, or you have to take them with you, and then it ends up getting cut short, which is just your reality.
And a doctor we spoke with says it's more realistic to simply add more healthy foods to your diet than to actually diet.
It'd be hard to cut out all those sweets. A mom was searching for her 10 children this morning, and luckily some crews came together to help her out. Some great video here. Bobby Roberts, a Minot Animal Control Officer, says this happens more often than you might think, maybe once a year. He had to call in for backup so city workers could come and lift up a metal drain gate because it was just too heavy for one guy. And someone had called in and said they had seen these ducklings fall in, and believe there were about 10 babies involved. As you can see here, though, it all turned out well. Very happy ending. Roberts said it's awesome knowing when you go home, you've done something good.
Some lucky ducks, right? Coming up tomorrow on Good Day Dakota, a lot of Norwegians come to Minot every year for the Norse Coast Fest, but it's been a while since any city officials have gone out to see them. So tomorrow morning on Good Day Dakota, find out how they plan to add more Scandinavian connections.
But coming up first tonight on KX News at 10, remembering to share the road with every vehicle now that the weather's warmer.
And how a North Dakota gal is hoping she ends up on the front page of Google.
Plus, let's take a live look outside. Warm temperatures today. They will continue overnight. But what will it feel like the rest of the week? We'll let you know next.
First Western Bank and Trust. You can bank on us. You're watching KX News at 10 with Chad Mira, Lauren Kalber, Chief Meteorologist Tom Schrader, and Sports with Mike Elm. KX News at 10, putting North Dakota first.
Educators and public employees making every day better. North Dakota United, 11,500 members strong.
Tomorrow morning on Good Day Dakota, we've got a slight cool down, but I'll tell you when we could see some muggy temperatures. And how does a city stand apart from the rest? Maybe by adding a little Norwegian zest. We'll tell you what Magic City officials brought back from the visit to their sister city, Skien, Norway. That's tomorrow morning on Good Day Dakota.
Keeping you safe during severe weather and keeping you ahead of the storm. Now that's putting North Dakota first.
At Minot Automotive Center, we want you to celebrate more than a great deal. We want you to choose one. Just pick your Jeep. Lease as low as $299 with $299 down on these selected models. Or get a 2019 Ram 1500 Express Quad Cab. Lease as low as $299 with $299 down. We guarantee one low price. Plain and simple, always. The Jeep Celebration Event and Ram Bigger Things Sales Event are happening now at Minot Automotive Center. Hop in.
At Menards, nobody beats our prices, so you can save big money on updates to your home. All stock Kidde home safety products are on sale. This general use fire extinguisher is $13.99. This plug-in carbon monoxide alarm with digital display is $29.99. Protect storage areas from excess moisture and mold with this 3-pack of Damp Rid moisture absorber bags. In lavender or fresh scents, they're $6.99 each. Plus, a Menards gift card is perfect for Father's Day.
Save big money at Menards.
Batter up.
What's the scouting report on this guy?
Never heard of him.
You should really just stick to fixing cars.
Good luck, Corey.
Steroid, one. Geez, Freddie, swings like you.
Yeah, right. Sorry, but you really do need to stick to fixing cars.
Skycam, brought to you by Swenson RV and Marine. Start your summer fun now during the inventory clearance sale. North Dakota first.
The sun is shining and the weather is nice and warm, but it comes along with a hazard you don't see in the winter months. Drivers are seeing more and more motorcyclists on the roads as we shift into summer. Motorcyclists and drivers always need to be aware of their surrounding. Watch your speed and check your blind spots when you're turning or changing lanes. And watch out at any intersections. They are a big contributing factor when it comes to crashes. Officers at the police department are urging drivers to slow down and pay attention.
All motors, including motorcyclists, should certainly watch their speeds, to give themselves extra time to stop and be prepared for the unexpected when it comes to other motor vehicles on the road, other drivers who might not be expecting to see a motorcyclist.
And Moss also says it's a two-way street. Motorcyclists have to be constantly aware of the traffic, and other drivers need to take that extra time to look and listen for motorcycles out on the roads.
Yeah, be safe. Enjoy the ride, but be safe. Stay with us. Still to come on KX News, how some are using their noodle to get on the front page of Google.
And how long are these nice temperatures going to stick around? Your forecast is next.
KX News, getting you answers and helping you solve problems. Now that's putting North Dakota first.
Slumberland's Memorial Sale ends Saturday. We've got bargains galore. Get ready for spring with these Adirondack chairs for just $188. Up to 70% off, plus an extra 25% off on advertised items. The Memorial Sale ends Saturday.
Dakota Pond has something for everyone. Choose from our great selection of guitars, Washburn, Alvarez, and Boulder Creek. Plus, check out our Marshall lamps, jewelry for her, firearms, gaming consoles, and more. Dakota Pond is your one-stop shop.
The toughest truck in the Northland is back for a limited time. Don't miss the Northland Edition F-150, America's best-selling truck 42 years straight. It's got best-in-class towing and payload, also best-in-class horsepower, plus other smart features to tackle whatever the Northland throws your way. Don't miss your chance to get a 2019 Northland Edition F-150. Get over $11,000 total savings plus $750 Northland cash or 0 for 72 financing on F-150 at your local Northland Ford dealer.
3 local cooperatives are working together, creating an agronomy powerhouse that has served the producers in central North Dakota for 20 years. CHS Sun Prairie, Enter-Based Cooperative Resources, Border Ag and Energy. 3 cooperatives, 1 agronomic vision.
Feel the fun and the excitement. The Spring into Summer Sales event is happening now at Moritz Sport and Marine, your authorized Ranger boats dealer. Fall in love with your new Ranger powered by Mercury. From family fun to serious fishing, it's time to rule the water with Ranger. Our big inventory has the new Mercury V6 and V8 engines. Come see it now at the Spring into Summer Sales event. The Spring into Summer Sales event, Moritz Sport and Marine, on the water, Marina Road, Mandan.
Now, your local weather with the KX Storm Team.
I'm Samantha Redding, Miss North Dakota USA 2019. Hey Tom, how's the weather?
Yeah, that was at the cemetery on Memorial Day after everything was over. Miss North Dakota USA came over, and Samantha was kind enough to visit with us. And I figure if she's going to be kind enough to visit with us, we're going to get her on, hey, Tom, how's the weather? So thank you for doing that, Miss North Dakota USA. And by the way, the group in the back there was the club that I'm in, the motorcycle club I'm in, Kahu. And just want to let you know that August 17th, we're hosting a Make-A-Wish benefit ride. And so anybody has a motorcycle, you're welcome to join us as we make enough money, hopefully, to make a wish come true for a child right here in North Dakota. Again, that's in August the 17th. We'll have a lot more information as it gets a little bit closer. Tomorrow, we're going to be anywhere between 10 and 20 degrees cooler than today. It's going to be much more pleasant to be outside. And then we're going to have mostly 70s on Saturday and probably on Sunday as well. And most areas are going to remain dry. However, there's going to be a couple of spots from time to time that have a chance of a small shower, maybe a small thunderstorm. 70 degrees right now, winds out of the south-southwest at 6 miles an hour in Minot. Williston, 72 beautiful degrees, and the breeze is out of the southwest, only 3 miles an hour. Just a terrific night in Williston. Here are some of the other temperatures around the area. Fargo hit 91 down to 72 now, but let's focus in on the temperatures in western North Dakota. Still 60s to low 70s south of Lake Sakakawea. You get north of the lake, and we're still at 72 at Turtle Lake. The Bakken is cooling off into the 60s and 70s right now. Again, we were in the mid to upper 80s today, so it was a hot one. It was also a little bit windier, but the wind has really dropped off. Right now we're looking at 5, 7, 8 miles an hour or so, and tomorrow is going to be a little bit breezy in places. Now around the rest of the country, it's actually an improvement in Texas because southwestern Texas was under a tornado watch. It's no longer in place. Right now it looks like a severe thunderstorm watch, a couple severe thunderstorm warnings, but overall maybe some hit and miss rain showers, but not a lot of severe weather tonight. Now over the next few days we're going to see a couple of little changes in our weather. One of them is there's a front that's entering North Dakota right now. By tomorrow morning, early in the day, it should be around I-94 to maybe the South Dakota border, right in that area. I don't think it's going to trigger any showers or anything. But later tomorrow afternoon, there might be a couple of sprinkles, maybe a small thunderstorm. And I think the odds are probably like 20% for a storm. But there might be a couple sprinkles. But there's the North Dakota, South Dakota border. So it's going to be very, very light and certainly not widespread. And then once we get to Saturday morning, high pressure should be right over the top of us. So Saturday should be in the 70s. Won't be windy. It's going to be a really nice day. Sunday's pretty nice as well. And once we get to Sunday morning, the warm front should still be in eastern Montana, but it'll start pushing its way into North Dakota by Sunday night into Monday. So Monday will warm up. And then when this front gets here, it might be the focus for some thunderstorms later on. Now, over the period of June 5th through the 9th, it looks like a 60% chance of temperatures being above normal and precipitation probably around normal. As we look at the next 72 hours, 70s to around 80 degrees in Dickinson, and in Williston, 70s to maybe some mid-80s by Sunday in Williston. So here's a look at our forecast temperatures for tonight. Lots of 50s on the map, a beautiful night. Daytime highs tomorrow really are going to be pretty nice. Here is a look at the next 7 days, and it's going to be a little bit cooler for a couple of days, and then next week we're probably going to get back into the 80s.
Come check out the new 2019 Ranger aluminum, fiberglass, and pontoon boats, only at Moritz Sport and Marine.
The toughest truck in the Northland is back for a limited time. Don't miss the Northland Edition F-150, America's best-selling truck 42 years straight. It's got best-in-class towing and payload, also best-in-class horsepower, plus other smart features to tackle whatever the Northland throws your way. Don't miss your chance to get a 2019 Northland Edition F-150. Get over $11,000 total savings plus $750 Northland cash or 0 for 72 financing on F-150 at your local Northland Ford dealer.
If you want a new quality home, come to Alikti Home Sales Center for the largest selection of manufactured and modular homes. Now's the perfect time to plan your home project. Tour our many Schultz or dynamic display homes, or let us help you create your own custom design. At Alikti Homes, we offer Minnesota-built homes for our climate. Visit Alikti Homes at one of our 4 locations today and find your new home.
I'm born to love again. I'm a brand new man.
See Brooks and Dunn live in concert Saturday, August 3rd at Four Bears Casino Event Center.
the best-selling duo in country music history. Show is Saturday, August 3rd. Tickets on sale now at fourbearscasino.com and the Players Club. Brooks and Dunn live in concert. Saturday, August 3rd. Get all the info at fourbearscasino.com.
Mattress Firm's best ever Tempur-Pedic Memorial Day sale has been extended through Monday. The most highly recommended bed in America just got better. Introducing the reinvented Tempur-Pedic at Mattress Firm. For the first time ever, you can still save up to $1,000 on the all-new Tempur-Pedic. And at Mattress Firm, we'll give you $300 bonus cash, so you can save even more. Plus, with 6 years, zero interest financing, you can buy your new Tempur-Pedic for as low as $29 a month. Don't miss Mattress Firm's extended Tempur-Pedic Memorial Day sale, going on now through Monday.
Now, KX Sports, sponsored by Cooper Automotive.
Well, the first time ever, the State A baseball tournament is taking place in Minot. Now, the tournament kicked off today at Corbett Field, and in the final game of the day, the host team, Minot High Magicians, met up with West Fargo Cheyenne. So let's head out to Corbett Field, and what a night for baseball. Minot High in business early, 2-on for Dylan Vigestead. He scorches one to third. Brennan Hammond knocks it down, steps on the bag, and fires to first for the inning-ending double play. Now let's go to the second. Alex Shimke cruising on the hill, freezes Quade Peters here, and that sends us to the third with no score. Minot capitalizes on a first and third situation. The throw down to second is cut off, but Shimke able to beat the return throw home, and Minot High gets on the board. Soon after, it's Lance Oster uncorking a wild pitch, and Dylan Buchanan hustles home the final 90 feet to score. Minot High at 2-0. The Magicians go on to get West Fargo Cheyenne 6-4. They advance to the semifinals. It was Fargo Shanley rallying to get Williston 4-3. Also, Century shut out North 7-0, and West Fargo big over Dickinson 18-3. The State B baseball tournament is underway in Fargo. In opening round play today, the Bishop Ryan Lions met up with two-time defending champion Park River Fordville Lankin. So let's go to this one as the Aggies get the scoring started in the first here, and Adam Zavalny, he sends one to deep center field, and that brings home one run. And again, early on, Park River looking pretty good. They build up a 4-0 lead until the fifth when the Lions get back in it, as it's Mason Hedberg drawing the bases loaded walk, and that would tie the game at 4. But Nick Thompson comes through for the Aggies in the sixth to regain the lead with this single. The final, it was Park River, Fordville Lankin going on to get Bishop Ryan. The score would be 6-4. Meanwhile, MLS Glenburn taking on Enderlin Maple Valley. Back to Fargo we go, top of the first, and Henry Savicle here sends a deep shot into left field, and that gets past the outfielders. It's an RBI triple, and the Muskrats would take the lead. And then Isaac Unlin cruising on the mound here. He had himself a nice performance, gets a big strikeout to end a threat. But when it was all said and done, Enderlin Maple Valley knocks off MLS Glenburn. The score would be 7-1. Thompson downs North Star 5-4, and Shiloh Christian gets Carrington tonight 5-3. The State A fast pitch tournament also kicked off today in Minot at the South Hill Complex. In the final game of the day, the defending state champion Minot High Magets, who came in as the 4th seed from the West, met up with East top seed West Fargo. So let's head to South Hill and the complex we go to pick things up here in the bottom of the first. The Packers to work early. Mariah Peters here lines a base hit into left, and that pushes in Lauren Dimert across. West Fargo led by 1 after 1, and they kept rolling in the second. Dimert rolls a ground ball to third. A nice play to knock it down, but the throw would be late. Sophie Achoki would score, making it 2-0. Tori Nichols-Kraft would follow that with a drive that splits the gap. Another run would score. West Fargo goes on to get Minot High. The score would be 12-2. Valley City also downs Dickinson 10-3. Haley Schaefer with 14 strikeouts in that one. Century gets West Fargo Cheyenne 11-1, and it was Bismarck over Fargo North. The score there was 10-2. The State Class B fast pitch tournament kicking off today in Fargo. In that tournament opener, Bishop Ryan met up with defending the champion Central Cass. So let's head back to the east side of the state for this one. Central Cass threatening in the first. The laser beam to left field. Taylor Herchina makes the nice catch, and then how about the perfect cutoff throw to the plate, and they get the runner at home for the nice double play here. Bottom of the third, Tori Richter is going to lace this one to center field. 2 runs would score on the play, and Central Cass would go on to win it. The final would be 10-4. Now, the second quarterfinal featured Hillsborough Central Valley taking on Velva Drake Animals. We'll pick it up top of the third. Ryan Bodine chops one to third. It gets by the third baseman. That will allow Aubrey Mahoney to score. The Aggies led 4-2. But the Burros rally off the wild pitch here. Noella Kritzberger just beats the throw home. The final, Hillsborough getting Velva 8-7. And again, Central Cass over Bishop Ryan, the score 10-4. Also, Thompson facing last year's runner-up in Delax Burlington, and the Lakers came out confident. Brooklyn Benno here is going to crush this one to deep center field. This would open up the scoring for the Lady Lakers, and they look pretty good throughout this one. In the third inning, it's Maura Mills dropping one over second to score another run, and Delax Burlington advances to the semis. As he had Thompson, the score would be 6-3, and also Kindred Richland over Hart River 6-0.